Just be sure I'm all turned up here. Good to go. Good to go on my side. All right. All right. So I know specifically you want to talk to your mother, correct?
Uh-huh.
Now, how long ago did she pass on? Because I feel like it's been a while. But for what I feel, it's within the last 10 years. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did she pass?
Back in October 2021.
Okay. And within this time frame, okay, so first and foremost, I'm just going to go in. May I have access into your spiritual teams? May I have access to speak to your mother, please?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, because now who has the J name? Whose name starts with the J? Because I keep on feeling like there's a James, or I'm not sure if the James is there with her, but I keep on hearing a J name. Who in the family brings with it?
My Uncle Jesse.
Is Jesse still there? Is here or there?
He's there with her. He passed away.
Okay. Okay, so she's coming through with him. Now, do you understand when I feel like I'm having a family reunion? Do you understand that? Do you understand, like, so this means, okay, if someone's telling me that they're having a family reunion, that means that a lot of people have passed, and like, what people don't get is that when they pass, they're not at the cemetery. They're not in their urn. Like, they're physically in the urn, right?
Right.
But they're good.
Yeah.
On many levels. But they hurt. When you guys hurt, they hurt.
Right.
They feel that pain. Okay? I always tell people, when you're happy, it's easier for them to connect when people are happy.
Right.
When we're sad, they're just like, hey, where'd you guys go? Like, it's harder for them to connect to people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're sad, and they don't, first and foremost, like, what they look for is like, okay, so imagine like a big old light tower.
Yeah.
When we're happy, we produce that light tower because you're connected. And so that's what I'm seeing. So when we're happier, that's when you guys will start to sense her more. You understand that?
Yeah.
You guys are like, damn, I feel like mama too. Dang, I feel like, you see? And it's that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling. Because she's like, she comes around. She comes around. And now, why do I always see her in the kitchen? You understand that? Like, as if she liked to cook or she's on the grill. Do you understand that? Like, we could cook and we could like we could hang out. You understand that? That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Now, let me just say this. Have you guys been too busy to do this? Because she's like coming, the way she comes in and she's like, hey, y'all got to get together. You know better. Do you understand? Because she's like, how you gonna tell me that y'all can't get together, but yet let it be something bad, let it be something where somebody, then we get together when it's all bad. What the?
Yeah.
Because she's like, what the?
Yeah.
We got to come together when everybody's happy, when everybody, like, remember those times, not just like on the anniversary when someone passed on, not just this, not just that, but all the time. Let's do it. Like, that's what she's like, come on, because, ooh, guys, I got goosebumps, like,
Yeah.
And that rings so much because my father died May 13th, 2014. And we're having a big family reunion out in Chicago. And I'm like really hesitant to want to go because we're about to have puppies and it's a whole process. And I'm like, and he said, look, you see what I'm saying? So my dad's even coming in like, hey.
Yeah.
And so I get it. So we need to have this gathering. We need to stay connected like this. When we don't, it makes them sad because it's just like, just because your matriarchs have passed on, we have to be the matriarchs. Mm-hmm. We got to be the matriarchs now. We got to do this stuff now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when we don't, they're just like, why? Why aren't we doing this?
Right.
Now, who's the shy one? Someone that's always like off in the corner. One of her kids that's always off in the corner, shy. Yeah, I see. Because she's pointing him out. She's like, that's him. He just gonna be over there. That's okay. That's okay. Let's just I got him though. I got him though. Like you know, but she's like that's always been his MO. Like, you know, I would be out playing and then he'll be like on the porch, like he's doing his own thing. I get it. Look, I get it. I'm good. So okay. Okay, now who likes to ride up and like as if okay. So I live in Dayton, Ohio, in on the west side, which is considered the hood. And here we get into some of the Cadillacs, old school Cadillacs that have the wheels, and we'll pull up bumping. And when it's summertime, we get out and we ride. Like we ride and we go up, like there's one street called Gettysburg and people ride up and down this all night long. And this is how it goes, like all night long. Now, the reason, because she's showing me somebody, like we're riding. She's showing me, I don't know which one of y'all or who this is, but we're riding in a car and we're just, it's summertime, windows down, you're bumping, you're feeling the groove, you're feeling the music, and we're just gonna ride. And it's that kind of feeling. So when we ride, because she says when he rides, when they ride, we ride. You understand?
Okay.
Like that's always gonna be the ride or die.
Right.
And she's like, look, I got y'all. Especially when y'all in the car singing on that high note and knowing like you just like you feel like, dang, I don't feel like I'm alone.
Yeah.
Mom be like, hey, I heard you.
Yeah.
Mom's in the passenger. She's like, hey, I got you. I hear you. I can feel you. Yeah, mom's enjoying the summertime. Mom's coming in like, hey, I got this.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I will say it's been a hard year for her.
Yeah.
It's been a hard time for her passing because I'm trying not to get emotional here. Because I don't like to go into this place, but she has had some hard times with processing this because this isn't what she says no one plans to go.
Right.
No one ever plans to go, ever.
Yeah.
But when it happens, it's shocking. And she wants to bring up, it's shocking. It's shocking. And that shocking feeling is never going to go away. We just learn to deal with it better. We never know like someone's sick or whether or not they're going to completely recover. And that is where we have to say, look, life isn't promised to nobody.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow or not. So because we don't know that, we have to live every day to its fullest. And that's where she's like, hold on, I'm going to let you know I had a hard time. But it's important that they live every day until they can't live no more.
Right.
If this is the last time that you had to see your family, what is it that you wanted to say? What is it that you wanted to do? Make that known. Give people their roses and their flowers now while they're here.
Right.
Because tomorrow isn't promised to nobody. And that's exactly what she's speaking of. I don't know how she died. I don't know the whole situation.
Yeah, it was a shocker for us too. When she passed away, it was definitely a shock, you know, because nobody expects that. But she died from COVID.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. And how did you guys hear about it? Because do you understand, like, is this the type of COVID where like nobody could be in the room kind of a deal and you got like the call?
Yep.
Those are the hardest.
Yep.
Because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like it really happened.
Yeah.
And you still wake up like, you go to call mom and you're just like, damn.
Yep.
Not there. She wants to bring up though, but I ain't.
Right.
But I mean, Just because you can't pick up that phone doesn't mean that I'm not there.
Right.
For the first year, I had a big problem with this because even though I could sense my father and I could hear him, I wanted to call him. I would wake up from my dreams like, oh, I gotta call dad.
Yeah.
And he's not. So I get that. I get that. So that whole hard, rough upbringing kind of a situation, it not feeling real, I gather I get.
Yeah.
I get it. And I will tell you that grieving has many different stages, many different phases, and everybody handles it differently.
Right.
And one thing that I've learned since it's been about 8-9 years for us is that we tend to, now we could talk about it.
Yeah.
But the first couple of years, we didn't want to talk about it. Like, it was hard. Like, I couldn't talk to my brothers about it. Everybody had their own way of dealing with it. My brother would feel some sort of way. He'd go to the gym and work out. Like, he used it to power up.
Right.
For the first 3 months, I had to lay in bed because I felt him. I felt his energy and I felt his sadness. And it hurt. And what I will say is that we never, people be like, oh, it gets better, it will get better. No, it doesn't get better.
No.
We just learn to deal with our emotions better.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And that's the process.
Right.
And every emotion is valid. You could be angry, you could be frustrated, and we get it.
Yeah.
So she's like, look, we get it. But she says, I don't want y'all to stay there though. Like,
right.
You got to remember that with COVID, the way she makes me feel is like COVID might have made me feel some sort of way. It made me, she had a lot of hard times breathing.
Yeah.
Did she go on the vent?
Yeah. The ventilator.
Did she ever come off the vent?
No.
Yeah. You want to drink?
No.
That makes it even more hard.
Yeah, because we never got to say anything. It was just, that's it.
My throat feels constricted. Sometimes when people pass on, they make me feel what they're going through or what they went through. And so sometimes I'll actually feel it. So, okay, so listen. How do I say this? So, your mother's not necessarily, she could be here with me and there with you.
Yeah.
I need you guys to take this time while she's here, because she's everywhere. Just take a couple minutes and your own mindset, clear it out, and I want you to say what you have to say. Just close your eyes, everybody just close your eyes, clear your mind. Call on your mom, she's there. Say it in your mind, whatever you have to say to her. She hears y'all. She's emotionally crying. Got me going, so I'm trying to hold my composure as well. just take a moment. So I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Mhm.
Know that that was hard.
Yep.
To have that connection, to feel that. As soon as we all went in, like, she said, this is hard because it's feeling like you're saying goodbye. Even though you guys have
Yeah.
dealt with it in your own way, it's like, I need you to know that this is not the final. Even though someone's not here, my Native American people, our belief is just because people pass on does not mean that it's final. It's not final. It's never final. It's never a final goodbye. It's just that I'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Until I meet you on the other side. Until I meet you in that next life. I'll meet you there though. And it's that kind of feeling. It's never final. And that's what you need to understand. Never final. So with that, know that when she comes through, it's pure.
Yeah.
She's here. Okay? And she said to let you guys know that no matter what, people, like she says, like, when it's everybody's time to get to the pearly gates, know that I'll be there. Know that when there's marriages and graduations and kids being born, I will be there. I'm never gonna be gone. Because that's what she showed me, like, I'll be there
Mm-hmm.
if you want me to be there. And how you make that happen is that it's just by thought. Hey mom, I need to talk to you real quick. I need to, I'm feeling some sort of way. Can I talk, can I talk to you? And take that moment and just talk. And sometimes it feels odd, right? But when you meditate and you clear your mind and you call in a loved one, you could literally hear what they have to say. Because I always tell people, if you could clear your mind, it's like having a thought that isn't yours.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, I know this ain't my thought, where did this come from? And so when you clear your mind and you call in a loved one and you ask the question and then you get the answer to that question, you know dang well that that was not your thought. That's how you know that they're around, they're present, and they're speaking. So that is one of the first ways to communicate to those that passed on. It's just being able to hone in on it and be able to work it to your identity. So with that, use that to allow yourself to heal. Because I had to do that. I could feel my father, I could sense him, but it was hard for me to connect to him because I was emotional.
Yeah.
I was emotional, and I knew that I had to release these emotions so I could connect to that. So I would go to the park and I would ground, I'd sit in the sun. I just constant meditation, grounding, healing, and dealing with my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets easier because we learn to deal with our emotions. But because this whole situation, the way that it happened, it almost feels, for them, it's like a dream.
Right.
And that's what I tell a lot of people, when people pass away on ventilators, it's almost like having a dream and that you never wake up from. And for a long time when COVID hit, I did a lot of spiritual work to help a lot of people that passed on from this way,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can help them to move on, because for a lot of them, it didn't feel real.
Yeah.
They weren't comprehending that they were passed over, and so they had a loved one come and say, hey, come on,
Yeah.
come on, like, you passed on, let's go. But people think that, when someone dies at a car crash, that the body's, that they just stay there or at a cemetery or in an urn or at a hospital. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Their family from the other side comes over and say, hey. And that's what I feel like the uncle had a lot to do with that. And this person, do you understand when I say the Jesse person, like he has jokes. Because he sits right behind her. Like she's here and he comes right behind her and he got jokes. And he has traumas. And when you look at people, so I always tell people, think about people when they're the happiest. When, okay, so when people pass on, let's just say that they're 80 years old.
Mhm.
When they finally come to me, they'll walk to me as if they're 80, but when they come sit down, they're like in their 30s. And when
Yeah.
kids pass on, they can be babies, but what happens is that then they'll come to a cognitive state that where they
Yeah.
can understand me speaking. So they might pass on when a baby, but then they'll be able to, they'll come in like at about age 12 to 13,
Yeah.
where we can actually have that conversation. So that's the way that their spirits just transform so I can speak to them
Mhm.
accordingly. So with that, people when they pass away, they end up where they were the happiest in their life, at whatever age that was. And for your mother, it's, do you understand how much you guys meant to her?
Yeah.
You understand that after every birth of each of her children, she loved y'all. Even if it was hard love, she loved y'all. She loved y'all. And she says the happiest for her when she comes in is after she gave birth to all of her children, to see them play. Because I see her sitting back and just looking at her children and having that aha moment like, wow. So what happens is that when they pass on, they play like a life video of everything that happened in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the ones that that's sticking out for me is that and it's like children out playing in the yard and her just sitting there just watching and being in her own moment. Mm-hmm. And taking that in. And she said, and sometimes, do you understand, like, she said, I had to do what I had to do to be sure that my children ate. You understand that? Mm-hmm. She said, and I would do it again. I'd do it again. Now that right there, that's what sometimes parents today lack. And we have to learn from what they show for us, mm-hmm. How they live. You know, my dad, like my father, he might have sat there and he might, he was big on the street, but he also worked a job. Mm-hmm. You know, he did it right. When he raised us, all of us have different characteristics of my father, each of us. And so when I say, the reason why I bring that up is that each of you have different characteristics of your mother. Each of you. Especially the way she comes through. Do you understand the high cheekbones? Y'all all have the high cheekbones? Because you showed me the high cheekbones. You understand this? This high cheekbones here, this is Indian. You guys got native in your background. Like, you guys got native here. So this is native here. Because she showed me these high cheekbones. Do you see that? Because that's mom. That's mom. That's mom. And then I see, does someone's kids have high cheekbones too? Do children have high cheekbones? Okay. That's mom's genes playing out. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Your mom's genes are very strong. Yeah. Very strong. And she says the good hair too. Yes. She says the good hair too. You understand that? Yeah. She says the good hair too. She said they could grow some hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's beautiful. I do want to tell you that did you guys have that whole video thing, like I said before, with mom, while she was, saying goodbye, they let you guys do that? Yeah. Because she makes me feel like she heard it. She says, I need you to know I heard it. I heard it then, and I hear you now. Mm-hmm. And I hear you when you talk to me. I hear you. You guys need to know. I don't care if you're sitting in the bathtub. I don't care if you're sitting on the toilet. I don't care if you're riding in the car. I don't care if you're cooking and you talking to mom. Mom hears you. Mm-hmm. Mom always hears you. Now, did her mother pass on? Yes. That's why I feel like the family reunion. I feel like I got so many people on the other side. Like I feel like
Yeah.
we're having big fun.
Yeah.
That's why I feel it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have anything that they would like to say? Like,
Oh yeah, they got a lot to say. A lot. Okay, so let's start. Go ahead. Okay, so I will tell you that your Uncle Jesse comes in because he's right behind her,
Mm-hmm.
and he says to tell, look, I just want to, look, this is him. I just want to come in here real quick, and I just want to say, I love y'all. Never give up hope or faith,
Mm-hmm.
and continue on living. Like that's him. And continue
Right.
on living. Right? Like he's like, and continue on living. That's all I gotta say. I love y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely him. It's definitely how he
Now, this is her mom. Her mom's here.
is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want me to say that in front of the boy?
But not be nothing.
Okay. Because she's talking about body structure.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, look, just like her, they got the mom's cheekbones. Like I can see where everything plays in. And all I'm gonna say is, I understand the body structure. That's all I'm gonna say. Because she's like, hey, look, we got good bones here.
Yeah.
We got good lines here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
I'm eating the food. No,
Yeah,
I
I love
already know.
yeah.
do you understand what? Does she sit in a chair? Does she sit in a chair and like constantly rock? Like I feel like I'm rocking. You understand this? Like I feel like I'm.
I ain't get to meet her.
Are you talking about our mom's mom?
Yeah.
We didn't get to, like, when she passed away, I was a baby. My brothers weren't even here yet. I was a baby when she passed away. My mom was young too.
So we was probably with her in spirit realm when she passed
I could
away.
ask my aunt. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. That's probably what they were.
Yeah. And that's what I need you guys to know. So, and that makes sense of why she shows me, and I'm gonna tell you how she shows me. Okay. So she shows me like this. I'm on the other, like as if I'm rocking the baby.
Because she's being here too.
Oh yeah, she stayed in that chair. You so right.
And like I'm rocking babies. You understand this? Like I'm rocking babies.
But yeah.
So with that, understand this, that even though, because she shows me you and pat you on your butt.
Who, me?
Yeah. And then
Oh my God.
on the other side, before a baby enters into this world,
Uh-huh.
before they pass in through the vagina, know that that's when the soul comes in during birth. Okay?
Oh,
That's when the
that's
soul comes
crazy.
in.
That's what I be telling people.
Yeah.
The
So,
soul isn't in the body. Yeah.
Yes. Now understand, the spirit's in the blood. Spirit's in the blood.
Right.
That's
But
what
the soul-
operates everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but the soul enters when it goes through
Oh,
that
okay.
process.
Like when the water breaks, I think.
Yeah. Now, for the first year, you got to be careful because the baby's lifeline, like that's how SIDS. That's what people don't know. That's how they're like, oh well, the baby died of SIDS. What people don't know is that for that first year, the soul is constantly jumping in and out that body,
That's why they
and sometimes they're
Oh.
just saying,
Wow.
right, and when they sleep, and so if it stays gone for too long, if that baby stays gone, that soul stays gone for too long,
They call
that
it,
soul
I
will
forget what
probably
they
will
call it.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
seen that in the Jeff Maher.
Yeah. Video. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Because the cord
So-
disconnect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So now that's how SIDS, and that's what people don't understand. That's how SIDS comes in. They're like, oh, it's just SIDS. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's that connection to that body.
Wow.
Okay, so I don't know why I need to make that known, but they're making me make that known. Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
Now, before the baby goes through
Mm-hmm.
this process, okay, so on the other side, we have already written a plan for this life.
Yeah.
You understand that? This is what we call the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Okay, now that with the Akashic records and all this stuff here, you already planned out how many babies you're gonna have and all the process. Now, if you decide to be like, okay, one, look, like for me, one and done. I'm not doing that again. Process, right? No, okay.
Yeah.
But before that, I did have a miscarriage. So I did have a daughter that didn't make it, and I seen her on the other side. So I know she's good. But what I will say is that even when people have a miscarriage, that spirit ends up on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, whether or not the soul connects to it or not, because the soul is literally coming from God's source. Do you understand? That's where the soul connects to. That's why scientists cannot figure out
Right.
how to recreate a soul. They can take a conscious and put it into a new body and do all this other stuff that they might want to do.
Yeah.
They cannot
Conscious of robots and all of
recreate
that.
spirit
Mm-hmm.
or a soul.
They
They
can't
cannot
make,
replicate.
they can't make the robots feel. You
Yeah.
feel me?
That's the mystery.
That's what they can't do.
That's the great
Right.
They
mystery.
Makes
can do.
sense.
They can program it to do all that other stuff because that's what they is doing now. They programming
Yep.
conscious on robots. I didn't seen them talk to them before.
Oh yes, and that's what.
But
Have you
they
guys
can't-
seen the human flesh bones? It's the human
Wow.
flesh, and what they do is there's these whole bodies that are created now, and you can take your conscious now and put it into
Yeah.
this body.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have the soul or
Yeah.
the spirit.
Yep, and they
So
can take
this-
individually people.
It's like a
certain
zombie,
person's
basically.
conscious,
Yeah, that's
not
crazy.
just not just.
So this is how, and then you add that into the AI. So now they're making consciousness and AI, and they're making that into the new humans.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh? Okay, so now I had to bring that up so I could tell you the rest of it. Okay, so
We did
Yeah.
like that. We love that.
on the other side, okay, think of what they showed me is a big old life tree.
Uh-huh.
And then they showed me when the apples fall, or like this energy, it looks like an apple. Okay, now if you cut open an apple longitudinally, you can see a heart. You
Yeah.
can see a heart, right? So know that this is for me their way of saying that life is created from this tree, but when it is ripe, it falls. And then this family, the matriarch of the family, go over there and they pick it. Okay, they pick that soul for this body. Now, what happens is, like what the grandma's telling me, is that then she nourishes this baby. So she's showing me the boys, that she's nourishing this baby. She's nourishing this baby. Now, during the whole process, these babies are already chosen. And then what she does, she's like playing with this baby, imprinting herself on these babies.
Yeah. Wow.
This is why you guys can remember before you guys were, some people can remember before they were even here.
Yeah.
Remember situations before they were even here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys weren't even born, but you guys remember situations. It's because grandma had already seen it, and she's saying, hey, your baby, this is how the family is, da 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 da, and this is what you need to know about your mom. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? Then, and then, so it was hard for her to let this go. Okay? So I feel like this grandma's baby. This is what I feel like. This is grandma's baby. Okay? And then, this baby, okay, I gotta give it up. She's about to give birth. And then a tiny golden line gets created between this baby and that body. Okay, this is the lifeline. And then a silver line goes from this baby. It's like a silver golden line. I can't even call it a color because it's just weird how they show it to me.
Right.
But it's coming from the creator. Okay, there's a higher chord. Okay, so it's like creator, then it's like you got the soul, spirit, and then we're about to shoot it into this body. Now the body is grounded to the earth. Okay,
Right.
through the earth energy. So then grandma has to, as she imprints, she gives the baby a kiss on the forehead, and She imprints all knowledge, and there you go. So know that grandma had already dealt with all of y'all individually. Okay? And she needs to make that known. Now, what happens before grandma's there? This is what we call matriarchs of the families. The matriarch before her was her, before your grandmother was her mother.
Yep, she does.
And then the mother before. This is normally like a female type of the energy that comes through. Now, the male type of the energy, they come through and they're like, hey, this is the one. Like they pick it. Like the female energy is like the grandmother, but when the grandfather comes and say, hey, no, this one is this one that has to make it. This particular seed right here. So then the grandfather imprints his knowledge and energy on this baby too. You see what I'm saying? So with that, this is how DNA is created, all of this stuff. Like I could go on for days of how they show it to me. But
Please
what I
do,
would say, how we mix this. This is, and when I look at your guys' whole DNA strand and everybody that's over there, I see where the Indians come from. You guys understand, when I say Black Indians, do you understand what I mean? So we understand that over 1.5 million Native Americans were slaughtered.
You talking about like the Olmecs?
Yes. So now,
Wow.
so we're talking about where California is. Okay, so this is California, Mexico, and here on the coastal lines. They mixed, so the slaves started mixing with the Indians, and then the Indians started to migrate. There are Black Indians.
Yeah.
Okay, Black Indians running my family way on in there. So with that, that's how you guys got the high cheekbones. That's how you guys got the facial structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, when we look at this, now I will tell you that you guys are what we call greener.
Called what?
Okay, greener.
Dreamer?
So this, dreamers, healers, things like that. Okay,
Okay.
so what I mean by that, Native Americans that are rooted, this is where we go back to Pangea. Okay, I'm talking about, we're going in. Okay, so this is where all the continents were one. Okay, when that happened, this is where there were, I believe, 11 or 13 tribes, something like that. But there were these tribes that were started right here from Creator. These are the humans is what Creator always tells me. These are the real humans. Before the aliens started coming in here, the Palladians, the Marians, the Anunnaki, and all this other stuff, before they started coming in here and fucking with the DNA and all that other stuff. Okay? Because they started coming here and doing all their little stuff. Now, the real humans are becoming less and less. Okay? AI people, the people that are mixed with aliens, the people that are mixed with this and that, it's becoming where there's about 5 different humanoids. 5 is how they show it to me. Like I said, we can sit and talk all day long. But what I will say is that during this time, then there was like a great cataclysm, how they show it. And then everything, like the place started moving, everything started moving apart here. So, with all this, what I'm going to say and break it down like real quick, because I know that, I know that there's more people that want to talk. But with this, the reason why I have to talk about this is to understand that the root ones have gifts.
Yeah,
The rooted ones
have
are
gifts.
true healers, true shamans, true humanoids.
Makes sense.
We have a connection to Creator like no other. If you can just sit and clear your mind. Like no one. Okay? I always tell people, you want to activate your healing hands, press on your palms 3 times. Connect, go into meditation, your palms will start to get hot. Press on the soles of your feet 3 times. 3. And then you connect to Mother Earth and you can feel it raising through your body. Like no other. Like no other. When the sun is a gift from Creator. The sun. Sit in the sun. Let it heat on your chakras. Heat on your 3rd eye. And you will feel energized like no other. Take yourself the Epsom salt bath. Do you know that men are supposed to be taking baths but when they take baths, it's not supposed to go above their belly button.
Wow.
Do you know that?
I did not know that.
So that they can literally, every person, is because like women, we could take full baths, but men particularly, it shouldn't go above their belly button. The reason being is because our belly button is where we also still have life, right? Because that was our connect,
Yeah.
right, to mother.
Yeah.
So when you get sick, put some oil in your belly button.
Wow, I
Put some
heard
olive
that.
Yeah, I
oil in
seen
your
my
belly
pastor.
button.
Yeah. Wow.
You start to feel better.
Yeah.
Or put, for me, I would put like a mixture of like distilled water and a little bit of alcohol when you're feeling really, really sick and you can't get over it. Put that on a cotton ball, put it in your belly button.
Yeah. Wow.
Put some
Completely
tape
better.
over it.
Man.
Yeah, this is your connection.
Mm-hmm.
We forget it.
That's the first severance from mother when we first come into this realm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So understand that we are all rooted in this earth to be dreamers and healers. So when I call you guys the dreamers and the healers, I'm saying I recognize you, my brothers and sisters. I recognize your indigenous in you. I recognize the healers in you.
Right.
You guys have it in you to connect to those on the other side, because when you can connect to Creator, you can connect to anybody that passed on. Anybody. It's about being able to clear this mind. You see, they try to program us with all the internet stuff with nowadays. People, if we didn't have internet, they wouldn't know how to live.
Yeah.
I was born in the 1980s before all this stuff happened. I know what it's like to live without all this stuff. To have to go out here and play in the streets until the lights came on. I know what that was like. Literally. You know what I mean? So the way that the reason why I speak of this is because you guys need to know who you are as my rooted ones. The rooted ones are gifted. You guys need to know that there's life within you forming. When you speak, it could be a blessing or a curse. Use your tongue wisely. Speak life into your kids, into your life. See yourself living the life that you want. Parallel line jumping is correct. That's getting into, I'm talking about, we can get into some literal stuff like quantum mechanics and how to do line jumping and all that stuff and take you to a whole nother level.
Right.
I literally just died in a dream not too long ago and woke back up like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Like,
did that too. I
literally.
got shot. I was like, oh, hell no, I'm still having you. But I knew I wasn't like in danger, but it was just like a shock and I ended up waking up.
Right, but you wake up and you know that life still continues on.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is that all the other lives start to like collapse together, and then you start to see stuff out the corner of your eye like, I know my sister didn't pass me, but I see him passing me.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the lines, I need to tell you, this is where the lines collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And when they collapse like that, it's okay. But we will continue living on. When we die, we will continue living on. Until the great collection is how I like to say it. The great collection. When Creator says, you know what? Okay, time. I'm getting all my people that have consciousness, and I'm taking them all back to. Where is He going to take everybody to? You guys know?
To the one
To where the Garden of Eden truly is. The true Garden of Eden. That's what we talk about. That was creation. That's creation. So with this, I feel like I've opened up many doors for you guys, so we're gonna leave that right there. But the way that they show me your guys' family lines, you guys needed to know this so that you guys can create life accordingly. When we have, and I need to say this, when we have intercourse with people, we are making contracts with people. Why? Because our energies are interchanging with each other. Your seed goes into the woman. That seed, let me just tell you this part. This is going to blow your mind. When people have sex, you know, that semen in her vagina, that fluid all up in there, that's creation. If someone could take that fluid and use it
with that same semen.
That's
You go around
crazy.
4 miles with it.
Yeah.
Everything. That's what NLA Chopper be saying.
Yeah, creation. Now, let me tell you something. If you are not having sex, your seed is starting to stale. Okay, there's actually a tree that is over in like the Asia area. It's called a neem, Neem tree. We actually have it right. We actually got a whole bag of neem powder, but it's so bitter you can't have a lot of it, so you got to take it in capsule form. So we cap it all up and we take it that way. But the reason why I'm telling you about this tree is literally what people and yogis call the tree of life, because this tree can break down someone's seed. Okay, so kids, they say you can give it to kids until they're ready to have kids themselves, and then you want to stop about a year before they're starting their, to produce.
Yeah.
If you are not having sex, you can take this, or even if you are, let's just say you're done having kids, right? You and your partner done having kids. You could take this, and what is going to happen is that this is going to now take that seed from a female or a male, so both people can take it. And what happens is that it breaks down the seed, and it creates life within your body. You understand that?
Yeah.
And it's going to turn that seed, and it's going to create that life, and it's going to ascend up and in. Okay, now when you do take this, I highly suggest, we could talk about fasting with your zodiac sign. We can talk about fasting with your zodiac sign. When you fast with your zodiac sign and you take neem, what's going to happen is that you're going to feel this rising in your spine, what we call like the Kundalini Kundabaka kind of situation. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen is that as it rises, okay, this energy is going to get crucified at the 33rd vertebrae. Okay, when it gets crucified at the 33rd vertebrae, this is what we call the chrism oils. These chrism oils are going to go into the pineal and all the glands through the body. Now, it is going to awaken your spidey senses, is how I like to say it. It's going to awaken all your gifts to that new level. All of them. Okay? So as it does that, then I say to do it for 3 days when the moon is in your sun sign, and I posted it on my Facebook page. And what happens is that when that happens, and you're fasting. Now we like to go on a complete alkaline water, juices, things like that, good stuff for you.
Yeah.
So we'll go on complete fluid fast. And when we do that, when I talk about a complete rising, a complete connection, and you go out and ground in the sun, oh my God, I can tell you come back feeling like a whole nother human. A whole nother human.
That's crazy.
A whole nother human. That's not even talking about LSD and mushrooms and any of that stuff, because you can still get there with that too, and that's a whole nother thing. But that's for another story. However, what I will say is that you could get there with or without LSD and shrooms and all that stuff.
That's what I consider mushrooms and LSD.
But you can get there. I got a good connection, and you can get there with them both. Because the connection was like, I can't wait till you take it. I was like, I can't wait till I take it. I'm about to go see Shangri-La. He's like, what's Shangri-La? I said, I'm an 80s baby. That's the gym of the holiday. So you might not know nothing. So
I actually,
anyways.
I seen a Shangri-La show when I was at Branson. They was like very dope performers. They was doing a lot of cool acts and stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, and actually we're getting ready to go out to Mount Shasta, because I feel and I have had visions that Shangri-La has something to do with Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is up in like that northern Cali, Oregon area. So there's like some things going on in there. So we're gonna be heading out there very soon, within the next few months. So
would that be like connected to like Kali, like the energy of her?
So there's okay. So that's a whole nother story.
Right. Maybe we should get back on course, you know what I'm saying?
But what I can say is there's a lot with that. Because there's Shasta, and then there's also, we go into the Himalayan mountains too. And then we also talk about the hollow earth. All this you have seen and know about and have heard about, it's all real. I'm just here to say it's all real. So there's that. I feel like I can tell you guys that because I have to share information from one rooted person to another rooted person. That's my mission. That's part of my mission and my journey. My journey is to help everybody. My mission is to find the rooted ones and tell them about their gifts and to help them with their gifts. So because I talk about your guys' dreams, that's how I started this. When we dream, we also do what? We can also parallel line jump. And when you feel like you're having an also real dream, it's because you're living in another life while you're dreaming. Yes, I have said
That
it.
makes sense.
And we talk about manifesting while we dream. We could talk about all this stuff on for days. But yes, all this stuff is true. It's a process to it all. You can manifest in your dreams, or you can manifest through quantum mechanics and the whole parallel line jumping. It's all true. You can do it. I've done it. It's possible. It is possible. So you guys need to know that. So continue on the process with that. I'm gonna let that sink in. And I planted the seed. I done what I had to do with the rooted ones. Okay, your dreams will become more vibrant, more into it. You guys will understand. And I expect to have texts like, hey, my dreams since I talked to you have been magnified, and I
Right.
understand why, because we planted the seeds.
Gratitude.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Let's go.
Did that part. We've done that part. Okay, so planted that seed. I'm glad I found y'all. Got to plant that seed. Okay, now. Oh, do you guys know that you guys can get some clear quartz crystals? And I'm just gonna put this out here. This goes back into Atlantis. The show, the cartoon Atlantis, is true. Okay, you can
Oh,
actually
I still
take
remember watching
clear
it
quartz
recently.
crystals, and you can actually get these in a dark room. You can get them, if you rub them together, they will shine. They will shine. And then I use these to charge all my crystals, all that I have. That needs to be put out there. Because not a lot of people talk about that.
I put my quartz crystals outside and they came up missing. I was like, what the?
Oh,
But maybe some little kids didn't know no better. I'm like, what the heck?
and not just that, but when I talk about quartz crystals and Atlantis, if you guys watch the cartoon Atlantis, because it's true.
Yeah.
And the process of that big old crystal, you see, people, do you know that there was actually somebody that was getting ready to process the whole quartz crystal and to give people true, like, complete energy through the earth, but they actually killed them so that it wouldn't process? Like, yeah, that happened.
Like the Nikola Tesla thing.
Yep. Tesla was talking about it.
Tesla was
He
in
was
his
getting
time. He was talking about phones, that wireless phones and everything.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about, let's just say that the technology that we have was already invented many thousands of years ago. But at one point in time, what had happened was that they said, people are getting too smart. They threw all their books into the middle of like this big thing and just burned them all, so that technology wouldn't continue on. So then it's like they dumb people down just so that we could find it again. Humans are going to find it again because we already know it's in our DNA, and we know that it's going to happen. The true rooted people are going to find the process again, and we are finding the process now.
Right.
And that's the goal. Is that I've noticed that a lot more rooted people are becoming awake to their gifts, and it's happening at fascinating paces. I'm not just talking about people learning stuff. I'm talking about the rooted ones are literally starting, like their lights are turning on. Ding, 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 ding. And it's that kind of a thing. So when I look into your guys' line, I understand now. I understand why we needed to talk. I understand why I needed to plant this seed. I understand. I understand. So with that, what I will say is, now when we go back into this, because with the grandmother coming through, so does a grandfather. There's a grandfather here. Okay? This person here, he's one where he just kind of sit back and he just like watches everything. Like this is how it comes to me.
That pop right there.
Yeah. That's definitely him.
What's up, partner?
What's up, partner?
Yeah. He's definitely observant.
Yeah, that pop.
Now, do you understand when I say that he's like, look, I'm not, back in his heyday, he could get down if he wanted to get down with it, but he chose not to. And it's like, in a sense, what I would call is an OG. Where
Yeah.
Straight up.
Me and my husband's grandfather, because my husband's grandfather had a big old gun right next to him. He said, "Oh, we can get it." He said,
Right there.
Yeah, that's him.
"Like that's how he makes me feel. Come to that door. You can get it. Like
Yeah,
you can get it.
that's
You
all
know,
him.
he ain't worried about it. So that's how he comes through it. But he's cool with it. He's cool with it. So I understand. But he's like, that's okay. That's okay. You can get it if you want it. Like, he entices people like that. So he's like, you can get it if you want it. But that's that kind of. But you have to remember that the way that they show me their life, there's the way that. So coming up in that era, they've seen a lot of change.
Yeah.
A lot of change, for the good, the bad, the ugly, and all in between. So I understand when they showed me wanting to sit back and chill, because they had it rough coming up. They had it really rough coming up. And if you go into the lines before that, I understand. It's real. It's real. We have to understand that slavery wasn't too long ago. We have to understand that. And that people's mentality, for some, how do I say this? For some, I'm just gonna say it, forgive me. Some races
Right.
still are there.
Yeah.
Their
Most definitely.
lights turning on is gonna take a little bit longer. But there's a lot that goes on with that too. I understand why that works out too, because that's a whole creation in itself, and mountains and anyways, we'll leave that there. Like my husband always says, you can get white and black, but you can't do the opposite. So we're gonna leave that as that is.
Ooh, I swear
And
that's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
I swear.
And that goes Pangea. When we talk about Pangea, that goes back to that. That goes back to how they created human, how they were trying to create a white human. If you leave that there. Okay, they put people in mountains with certain people with certain things, and then people will come out, and then they started killing the dark ones and let them continue making in this mountain. Then this is where the caucus comes in. There's a little caucus land up above that people don't talk about, but back in that area, then they all started to migrate into where we are today. So anyways, their lights turn on differently than ours, than the true rooted ones, because they do have some roots to them, but it's different. So that's there. I feel like the way that they're telling me this, it has to be said. So please forgive me if when I talk about grandparents, they're talking about these things because these things have to be put out to you guys.
Yeah.
Regardless of how hard it is, it's the truth. You know?
It's the truth, and I have to tell you guys this because this is knowledge that needed to be passed on from the other side, from your loved ones. This is stuff that needed to be passed on, and sometimes I feel like didn't completely get there the way that they wanted to deliver it. So that's I'm delivering it how it comes, unsheathed, it is raw, is how it is. That's how I work. But with that, what I will say, because I know we're coming up on our time, I will say, for last remark from your mother and from everybody, is that, especially from your grandma, because your grandma says, you gotta tell them that she loves you. She says, you guys gotta tell them that I love you. Whether or not I met you in this life or whether or not I met you in spirit and soul. Y'all still my babies. Y'all still my babies. So let that be how that is. Okay? And she says she loves y'all. And the grandfather says, yeah, I love you too. Like, he's like, yeah, I love y'all. Like, it's like,
like y'all already know.
Like, he's one like, you guys already know. I don't have to necessarily tell you. Did I tell you I didn't love you? If I didn't tell you I didn't love you, then why would you think otherwise? So that's him. That's him. But your guys' lines, I say, are strong. They're deep. They're definitely rooted. Use these abilities to wake up those around you, because now that your guys' light are on, there's no turning off. That's just how it is. Okay. Your mom come through and she says to tell you guys, she says, tell my babies that I love them. And to tell their babies the story of me so that they never forget me. And that I love you all so much. Like, see the way she comes and she says, I love them so much. You understand that you guys were her heart and soul. You guys were her everything. She strived for it all in every way. And she says, strive for your family like I strive for you guys.
Right. Could I ask her a question?
Yeah.
My aunt, well, while she was on a ventilator, my aunt had sent her a message, but she never knew if she got to read it, you know. So I guess my Aunt Mariah was wanting to know, you know, did she see that? I guess she just wanted her to know that she loved her and stuff like that. She was very
She said,
close
I
with
got
her.
it.
Okay.
She said she got it.
Okay.
She said she got it. And you, because I feel like a message, like, on a pillow, I don't know how it has to do with the pillow, but she, like, as if she's showing me on a, like, as if her head's on a pillow and, like, hearing a message. Or when we have messages, when it's in your heart and in your soul,
Right.
it gets delivered to the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
It gets delivered to the other side. So always know that. You guys want to speak to mom, like I said, clear your mind, talk to mom. You'll hear her. Because you can hear her voice coming like, hey,
Right.
Mom can come through. She's gonna come. She'll always come through for y'all. Y'all, like I said, you guys are her heart and soul. So let that be the last word.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for allowing me to read for you. I
Thank
thank
you.
everybody from the other side. You guys are beautiful. Thank you for the messages of enlightenment. We are so thankful in many ways. We give grace and honor to all of those that come before us. So shall it be. Thank you guys for allowing me to
Thank
read
you.
for guys.
Thank you.
That's where I'm at when you guys need me. I'll be right
Right.
here. All right. Thank you guys. We'll talk
Thank you.
soon. Many blessings. Thank you.
You too.